From time immemorial, generations of Vietnamese, the offspring of the legendary dragon and fairy, have always turned their hearts and minds to the ancestral land, the birthplace of the nation. People often remind each other of their roots. This primeval indigenous belief became the foundation for accepting other forms and religious beliefs into this land, which is full of humanism and national identity. Along the course of evolution and development, Vietnamese people accept and maintain the presence of different religions as long as they bring peace and teach people of a decent way of life, matching national traditions and ethics. The banyan tree, water well, and communal house have long been familiar scenes in Vietnam's countryside. The pagoda contains the soul of the nation and preserves it for generations. Right at the beginning of the Gregorian calendar, Indian monks followed sea routes to Luy Lâu, the center of Giao Chỉ region, to start Buddhist practice in Vietnam and made Luy Lâu an important Buddhist center. Throughout 2,000 years of its dissemination and development in Vietnam, Buddhism has made major contributions to Vietnamese people's spiritual and cultural lives. In several historical stages, Buddhism was considered national religion. Quite a few erudite monks were honored as state monks who took part in state affairs. Pagodas have provided many talents for society, and national culture has developed through many feudal dynasties and imprinted with Buddhist spirit. Legends and religious beliefs represent the breeding ground for ideology and heavenly beliefs, which were found in Lý Công Uẩn, the founder of the Lý dynasty, and a virtuous and talented consort, Y Lan. Indigenous religious beliefs mingled well with Confucianism, with its ethical standards for individual behavior in family, state, and global affairs. The dynasties of Lý, Trần, Lê, and Nguyễn trained a big army of Confucianist scholars as the mainstay for national construction and development. Different religions have been adopted in Vietnam, with the worshipping of Hindi god Shiva, Islamic god Allah, and the mixture of indigenous elements and concepts in the architecture and construction of temples and towers. The selection and acceptance of religions from outside has been done out of amity and the respect for self-determination and identities of ethnic groups that were formulated as a result of thousands of years of national construction. By the end of the 16th century, Catholicism found its way into Vietnam, followed by Protestantism in the early 20th century. Despite the ups and downs, the existence and development of these regions gradually forged a harmony with the cultural life in Vietnam, with the introduction of Quốc ngữ, the Romanized national script, as a typical example. In the first half of the 20th century, South Vietnam saw the emergence of two new religions, Cao Daism and Hòa Hảo Buddhist Church, which enriched the spiritual life of Southerners in particular and the whole of Vietnam in general. In a country that withstands constant foreign aggression, religions are part and parcel of the population along the course of existence and development. Quite a few Confucianist scholars rose up for national independence. They would rather be imprisoned than enslaved. Born into a family of patriotic scholars, Ho Chi Minh left the country as a youth in quest of a way to liberate the nation. He forged closely Marxism-Leninism with patriotism. He said Confucius, Jesus, Marx, and Sun Yat-sen all wanted to contribute to social well-being. I believe if they lived close together, they would feel at ease like good friends. When the August Revolution ended successfully, all Vietnamese, religious and non-religious alike, were proud and happy to enjoy independence and freedom. In 1946, the National Assembly adopted the first constitution, asserting respect for the people's freedom of religion. A government that united all classes and religions of the new Vietnam was established. Bishops Hồ Ngọc Cần and Lê Hữu Từ were invited to be advisors to the government. In December 1946, the young state of Vietnam began a war of resistance. Many temples, pagodas and other religious establishments provided help for the administration. Deep inside a small cave in Thầy Pagoda, President Ho Chi Minh stayed for several days while he gave instructions to the fierce battle in Hanoi. The famous Cham Pagoda harbored Radio Voice of Vietnam in a rock cave. Religious believers became more aware of Ho Chi Minh's statement, "The liberation of the nation will bring liberation of the religion." Many priests left their churches to take part in the war of resistance to fulfill the obligation of respecting God, loving the nation, and several of them died in the battlefields. The war of resistance against the French ended successfully, partly due to the all-people solidarity initiated and carried out by the party and President Ho Chi Minh that called for unity among religious and non-religious people. Despite heavy workloads to heal the wounds of war, the President of the Democratic Republic of Vietnam on June 14, 1955, announced a decree on religious affairs. President Ho once met representatives of religious people. He told them, "We are pursuing the goals of national independence, freedom and people's happiness. To achieve these goals, all people have to join hands in socialist construction. If Jesus had been born in our time and exposed to contemporary human suffering, he would have become a socialist and sought a way to save mankind." In South Vietnam, the people led a miserable life under the oppression of the US-led Saigon regime. Religion suffered division and suppression. Joining the people's common struggle, Buddhist followers and monks and nuns took to the streets to protest religious repression. Thiên Mụ Pagoda in Hue still preserves and puts in display the car that Most Venerable Thích Quảng Đức drove to Saigon to join anti-war demonstrations. He burned himself in protest against the war and called for people's resistance. Many pagodas became revolutionary bases which provided shelter for commandos who were undertaking clandestine revolutionary activities.
Chùa Thiên Tôn trong thời kỳ hoạt động bí mật.
Thiên Tôn Pagoda was a clandestine base of the Saigon Gia Định Region Party Committee. Senior revolutionaries like Nguyễn Văn Linh, Huỳnh Tấn Phát, Nguyễn Hữu Thọ, and the Most Venerable Thích Thiện Hào and Thích Minh Nguyệt, as well as several other cadres, held secret meetings at the pagoda. In 1960, the enemy found out the existence of the secret base in the pagoda. So the Most Venerable Thích Thiện Hào and Mr. Nguyễn Văn Linh, Huỳnh Tấn Phát, and Nguyễn Hữu Thọ went to the resistance base in the north to continue their revolutionary activities. In those days, Ho Chi Minh said, "Only an independent nation can ensure freedom of religion. The heroic struggle of Buddhist followers is part of the common struggle of the Vietnamese people. Followers of Buddhism and other religions are closely united with the entire population in the front for the liberation of South Vietnam. Therefore, South Vietnam is bound to be liberated and religions will enjoy freedom." In the north, US imperialists conducted airborne warfare which bombed and destroyed physical establishments, plants, schools, temples and pagodas. In response to President Ho's appeal, would rather be sacrificed all than be enslaved. Buddhists and Catholic youngsters were anxious to join the battle. Many localities successfully completed the two heavy tasks of fighting enemy's aircraft while ensuring sufficient procurement of food supplies and soldiers to the battlefront. Militia units in several dioceses shot down U.S. warplanes, and people in many communes and districts successfully completed their wartime duties and were awarded the hero title. On one morning in May, when the country was celebrating the victory over foreign aggressors, Vietnamese people recalled Ho Chi Minh's statement that only an independent nation can ensure freedom to religion. Out of its traditional ethic of when drinking water, remember its source, Vietnamese people have built temples and shrines dedicated to those who have heroically laid down their lives for the nation. The burning incense reminds us of those fallen combatants whose sacrifice ensured the eternity of these ancient pagodas, as well as these churches where the chiming of their bells echo from the ripe rice fields. In the current peaceful construction, Vietnamese people are grateful to and hero the heroic Vietnamese mothers, be they of religious background or not, who have become mothers of the fatherland in the glorious era named after Ho Chi Minh. An independent, reunified Vietnam has opened up new opportunities for the expansion and development of religions in the country. In a letter sent to nationwide Catholics, Nguyễn Văn Bình, Archbishop for Saigon, wrote, "A new historic chapter has turned, bringing joy to the whole nation. This is also a blessing from God. Catholics, therefore, must be engaged in everyday life as the rest of the population." In early 1980, the Vietnam Committee for Catholic Solidarity was established, which called on the Catholic community to observe the cardinal principle of living the gospel amidst the nation for the people's happiness. In November 1981, the Unified Conference of Buddhist Organizations set up the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, the charter of which was ratified by the state.
Trong cái giai đoạn vừa qua,
An important event in Vietnam's Buddhist Church in recent past was the establishment of the Central Buddhist Sangha to take care of the nationwide Buddhist activities. The Sangha received strong state support and assistance to carry out its activities. We pay particular attention to training Buddhist talents.
Và sau khi mà Giáo hội Phật giáo Việt Nam ra đời thì cũng được nhà nước hết sức giúp đỡ, tạo mọi điều kiện cho Giáo hội Phật giáo Việt Nam chúng tôi hoạt động. Đặc biệt là Giáo hội Phật giáo Việt Nam chúng tôi quan tâm đến cái vấn đề đào tạo tăng tài.
Làm mình thành Phật đây không phải là do mình tụng kinh, mình gõ mõ, mình cầu nguyện, mình lại được.
The growth of a religion can be seen from its training of follow-up generations. Major Buddhist centers have run courses on Buddhist studies at fundamental and advanced levels to provide elite monks and nuns.
Ngày nay thì ở tại thành phố Hồ Chí Minh đã có nhiều vị tiến sĩ.
In Ho Chi Minh City, quite a few doctoral degree holders from overseas courses are taking part in Buddhist church activities. In addition, hundreds of Buddhism school graduates have taken part in advanced training courses. These people, with their broad social and Buddhist knowledge, have helped strengthen Buddhism in Vietnam.
Là có trình độ kiến thức về mặt xã hội. Nhờ đó mà tín đồ Phật giáo nó phát triển rất mạnh và rất đông.
Buddhist publications, scriptures for preaching and related cultural printed matters are allowed public circulation. Many pagodas and worshipping places have been destroyed by years of atrocious wars or beaten by weather. The state has supported the people in restoring and upgrading new pagodas which still retain the unique traditional features of architecture. Major Buddhist anniversaries, such as the 15th of the first lunar month or Buddha's birthday, attract large numbers of followers from all parts of the country. Vietnam's renovation process has yielded major successes and improved people's economic and social lives. Likewise, religions in Vietnam have witnessed changes for the better in the spirit of evangelical life and God.
Những năm gần đây thì đối với vấn đề tôn giáo rồi
In recent years, the freedoms of religion has mingled well with the development of culture, which reflects close attention from the state. Economic growth has improved people's lives and promoted the development of religion.
Chính phủ nhà nước, đời sống bà con cũng nhờ đó mà cái phần kinh tế cũng có một cái sự dồi dào hơn, và do cái kinh tế nó dồi dào thì cái việc xây dựng hay là phát triển về cái tôn giáo thì mỗi ngày cũng được phồn thịnh hơn.
In 1980, the Catholic Church set up 6 inter-parish seminaries with permit from the Vietnamese government. These principal seminaries are entitled to enroll students for training courses. The graduates have been consecrated priests to take care of different dioceses. In the past 10 years, the Vietnam Catholic Church has consecrated 623 priests and 9 bishops. Besides, nearly 300 priests and clergymen have been sent overseas for further studies and obtained master's or doctoral degrees. When old Mr. Sao put the first stone slab to build the Phat Diem Cathedral, he had no idea that after only a century, Phat Diem became a major diocese with hundreds of churches and large numbers of followers. During the war, US bombs and shells destroyed many cathedrals and churches. The most notable was the La Vang Church in Quang Tri in central Vietnam. In recent years, churches in several parishes have been upgraded or rebuilt. The imposing bell towers from well-built churches bear eloquent proof of the development of the nation and religion. Many representatives from religious organizations have been accredited and elected by the people to the state highest authority body, the National Assembly.
Tôn giáo Cao Đài rồi năm 1997.
In 1997, Cao Daism received official state recognition of its legal status. Cao Daism was created in Vietnam with its beliefs matching national customs, thus having attracted a large number of followers within a short period.
Tín ngưỡng, tôn giáo, các cái phong tục tập quán đều là nó phù hợp theo với cái phong tục của Việt Nam. Do đó mà được thu hút một cái số tín đồ nó phù hợp lại với cái lòng của dân tộc Việt Nam. Do đó mà thu hút một cái số lượng tín đồ nó hết sức là lớn trong một cái thời gian ngắn.
On April the 3rd, 2001, the Government Committee for Religious Affairs officially recognized the Vietnam Protestant Church with its cardinal principle of evangelical life, God, nation, and motherland. Many overseas Vietnamese who live far away from the country express their strong feelings for the nation and traditional beliefs. They assert that they are first of all Vietnamese citizens before becoming religious believers.
Theo tục lệ của người Miên thì trong một đời người con
According to the ethnic Khmer customs, During a person's life, children have to take part in a ritual to pay respect to their parents. That's why today we are here applying for such a ritual. We have lived far away from the homeland for many years. We are now back for a visit, but we are Vietnamese and we always turn our heart and mind to the country where we were born and grew up with other country folks.
Lòng chúng tôi cũng hướng về trước là đất nước Việt Nam. Vì đây là nơi chúng tôi sinh đẻ và chúng tôi đã dùng cơm gạo Việt Nam rất nhiều. Và chúng tôi nói tiếng Việt rất là khá. Chính vì vậy tôi không thể nào quên được đất nước Việt Nam và cũng không thể nào quên được những người Miên ở tại tỉnh Vĩnh Bình này.
Within a short span of history, Vietnam has made great strides forward on the path of national development and construction. New prospects opened up for the nation to firmly match in the 21st century under the motto, Vietnam is ready to be a friend and reliable partner of all nations in the international community, striving for peace, independence and development. Against the background of vigorous global integration, Vietnam opens its door to investment, cultural exchange and tourism. Many foreign visitors to Vietnam as followers of certain religions have been facilitated by the Vietnamese government to freely take part in religious activities with their Vietnamese counterparts or gather together for religious practices at corresponding worshipping establishments in Vietnam. Vietnam bears the brunt of harsh natural calamities every year. In tandem with Buddhist benevolence towards mankind, the Central Committee of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and its followers nationwide have donated tens of billions of dong as emergency aid for disaster-stricken areas. Many pagodas, monasteries have taken an active part in social welfare activities, sharing suffering of the unfortunate. Many such places have become nursing homes for orphans and the disabled to inject in them a love for life. Vietnam always persists in its policy of respecting the people's freedom of religion while denouncing all acts of taking advantage of religion to cause social unrest, harming national independence and undermining the policy of great solidarity. Vietnam also rejects any plots to affect national moral values, lifestyles and culture or to prevent religious dignitaries and followers from accomplishing civilian obligations. Sabotage activities must be duly punished by law and superstition must be criticized and ruled out of everyday life. People are encouraged to realize the objective of independence, territorial integrity, wealthy people and powerful nation.
Còn có một vài cái hiện tượng là có những các cái tôn giáo, có các cái giáo phái mà họ lợi dụng.
At present, followers of some religions or sects in Vietnam take advantage of the state's policy on freedom of religion to conduct erroneous activities. The state, on the one hand, assists the freedom of religious practices, but takes measures to prevent some illegal sects from spreading their activities on the other. I think the more prosperous the country becomes, the more freedom of religion will be obtained.
Đó là một cái điều mà đất nước ta đó, ngày càng giàu đẹp bao nhiêu đó, càng phồn vinh bao nhiêu đó, thì cái sự tự do tín ngưỡng của nhân dân càng thịnh hành.
Throughout thousands of years of evolution, religions in Vietnam have created many valuable architectural projects which become cultural and historical heritages. Despite huge difficulties, Vietnam has invested largely in restoring and upgrading such vestiges. From deep down inside, every Vietnamese retains a strong feeling for typical images of their roots, like a banyan tree, a communal house yard, an ancient pagoda, a mattress stage for Chao popular opera or traditional Quan Họ folk tune. These reflects the soul of the Vietnamese. At the onset of the 21st century, the Communist Party of Vietnam held its 9th National Congress to decide upon important issues of the nation in the new stage of development. The Congress resolution reiterates the policy of respecting the people's freedom through religion while upholding the banner of national unity for independence and freedom. Another spring has come to Vietnam. In the jubilant atmosphere welcoming the advent of spring and a new millennium, all temples and pagodas nationwide have been filled with prayers and wishes for the nation's prosperity and the people's happiness amidst the intense smoke. In those sacred moments, let's make a pilgrimage to the ancestral land of Hung Kings, the founders of the nation. Here, people are reminded that they are primarily Vietnamese before becoming followers of any religion. Every Vietnamese has ancestors and families. The thousands of years of history have asserted the role of integration of different religions and beliefs in a spirit of solidarity along the path of national development. Generations of Vietnamese have witnessed vigorous growth of religions along the course of national development from the era of Hung Kings to the era of Ho Chi Minh.